with the disbursements of CDF, especially in issues of education and security. I'm aware that there is a tussle, but this tussle is elitist, sponsored by those who think that all the funds should go to devolution. If you think like that, then there would be no reason for division of revenue. When you think about it, Mr. Speaker, once there is division of revenue, which is in the Constitution, the revenue which remains to the national government has authority and has the leeway to be able to spend it in the best manner in which it can impact on the people. So this money called Constituency Development Fund does not come at all from the devolved funds. Professor Undo here would assist me. It does not come at all from the devolved funds. There is division of revenue. Whether I like it or not, at some point we would have to divide revenue, and at some point, whether it is in for 35%, 45%, 50%, or even 70%, some money will have to go to the national revenue and devolve. So we are just talking about the national. So to that extent, when I hear a lot of resistance, especially from the Council of Governors, resisting that devolution would mean more money to them, I think they have just lost concept of the constitutional order in which money is divided. Mr. Speaker, together with the action of this House in looking afresh at the CDF Act and aligning it with the provision of the court rulings, and especially on the Constitution, the Member of Parliament has no chance except mobilizing his people during public participation, and has been said by Professor Oundo. What I want to say, this country must, choose to develop. If they choose to develop, then they must allow those who are able to mobilize communities to be able to ignite enough funds that would stimulate growth at the constituency level. Now, some of us, we earn our salaries, and my salary is enough to pay for the services. As I stand before you here, my salary has been paid. I have no appetite, I have no interest in putting my fingers in monies which I don't have legislation authority over. In fact, one would say that now I don't have money to spend on funerals, on weddings. Maybe at some point I will urge the House to allocate, if at all the economy recovers, so that I can have money to pay for funerals and weddings. But as of now, my legislative duties, my representation duties, my oversight duties are well paid by my salary. So this misnomer that governors think that, of course, if they destabilize CDF, or for that matter, the other house, that then that would give them the opportunity to put their fingers on this tail. In fact, it is the reverse. Mr. Speaker, have you asked yourself why governors, for example, give bursaries to students? If their mandate, their constitutional mandate is about ECD, and the law is ECD, what is this mandate they have that they are exercising to give bursaries? So this is just a confused system. We have to come to order so that monies are concentrated where the Constitution has directed them to be. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Kajwang, did you say governors are giving bursary to secondary and university students?
I am shocked, Mr. Speaker, that the bulk, I've never had a governor give ECD And I'm waiting for governors to be able to give scholarships for the bright children in preparatory 1 and preparatory 2. I'm waiting for that day when a governor will call nursery students to give ECD. The money is paid to secondary students, university students. The other day, somewhere in Eldoret, and the governor, who is now an honorable member of parliament, has never been able to respond to this, that tranches of thousands and thousands of money were paid to some students going abroad. This is a student going to do masters and postgraduate diploma. Why would you want to put public funds to equip a boy who is now going to go into postgraduate training while you are unable to afford schools, primary schools, ECD schools? So I think that governors I do not know what kind of the devil that has walked into our system, but really the devil is walking within our system in some way that we are impervious to reason, Mr. Speaker. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Kajuang, the Honorable Ferdinand Wanyonyi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the chance. I think I've been sitting here the whole day, and thank you for this chance. I don't come from Bungoma, but I was born in Bungoma. The issues that are raised by the CDF, I don't know, but I want just to make a few comments here and there on the same. First and foremost, I want to agree with Honorable Kachwang on the governors at giving out bursaries. I know they have particular cases where they give out scholarships. That can be accepted because on a specific issue, for example, maybe one of the students is outstanding in an area, or at least has no parents, or is an orphan. I've seen governors giving scholarships to go overseas. That's acceptable. But giving out bursaries, I think, is something that is misplaced, and this actually misappropriation of funds for the community. I know cases where they're supposed to be building ECDs, not giving out bursaries. So I think they just want to, and of course the other one I want to talk about is where I saw on the TV, Mr. Speaker, that maybe you saw the same, our colleagues across, the senators, wanting to do away with the CDF. I don't know where that member of parliament, I don't want to mention his name, but I saw it. I don't know where he comes from. I don't know where he lives. Maybe somebody who's in Nairobi and doesn't even know what's happening at home. So he wants us that NCGDF should be abolished. That is out of envy and jealousy, because he knows that maybe his members of parliament are doing so well, and so therefore the only thing he can do is, of course, to undermine him by suggesting that NGCDF should be abolished. I think it's time for this House, maybe the Speaker of this House, to talk to the Speaker of the next House so that this issue is not even raised anymore. Because how does he talk about that? I saw it personally on the TV, and I know the gentleman, but I think he's a newcomer, so who has nothing to say. Just because he was given a chance to talk in the Senate, he stood up and started talking about that kind of thing. Now, the other thing is that, quite true, the issue of NCGCDF dealing with land issue all over the country is an issue, because you may want maybe the community want a school to be put somewhere. Maybe if it's not a school, maybe a the chief's office or assistant chief's office. And so again, it must be very clear. For it to function, you must have what they call the title deed. And most cases in this country, title deeds are an issue. People are not having title deeds. And those who, maybe there are issues, maybe because of the parents passed on and what have you, and that issue is there. And so NCGDF has been having